Jack Morrison walked into the big meeting room on the top floor of the Earth Council building. His hands were shaking a little, but he tried to keep them steady. He had waited 3 years for this chance to speak to the most important people. On Earth, today was the day he would tell them about his plan to travel faster than light. The room was huge and cold. Big windows showed the city below, where millions of people lived and worked. At the long table sat 12 people who made the biggest decisions for all humans. Some were from Earth, others from the moon colonies and Mars. Behind them sat the aliens. The aliens made Jack nervous. They were tall and thin, with blue skin that seemed to glow in the light. These were the Centauri, the first aliens humans had met 50 years ago. They had taught humans many things about space, but they always said the same thing when humans asked about faster travel between stars. "It is not possible for your kind," they would say. "Your minds cannot handle it." Jack put his papers on the small table in front of him. His life's work was in those papers. 20 years of studying crashed alien ships. 20 years of learning how their machines worked. 20 years of believing that humans could do what everyone said was impossible. "Dr. Morrison," said the woman, at the head of the table. This was Linda Hayes, the smartest scientist on Earth. "You have asked to speak about faster-than-light travel. We have been through this before. The Centauri have explained why it cannot work for humans." Jack cleared his throat. "I believe they are wrong." A man in a blue uniform laughed. This was Commander Paul Richards, the head of Earth's space military. "Morrison, you're a smart man, but you're dreaming. We've tried to build faster ships for decades. Every time we copy alien technology, it kills our test pilots." "That's because we're copying their technology," Jack said. "But we're not them. We're different. Our minds work differently." One of the Centauri aliens spoke up. Its voice was like music, but cold. "Human consciousness is too chaotic. When you try to enter quantum space, your thoughts break apart. This is why your kind must stay near your home star." Jack looked at the alien. "You're right that our minds are different. But different doesn't mean weaker. It means we can do things you can't." Linda Hayes shook her head. "Jack, we've tested this. Human pilots go crazy when they try to navigate through quantum space. Their brains can't handle the strange physics." "Because we're using the wrong method," Jack said. He picked up his first paper. "I've been studying meditation. Not just any meditation, but very old human techniques. Methods that our ancestors used thousands of years ago." "Meditation?" Commander Richards looked confused. "What does sitting still and thinking about nothing have to do with space travel?" "It's not about thinking about nothing," Jack explained. "It's about making your mind work in a special way. When humans meditate deeply, our brains create patterns that are different from normal thinking. These patterns match the quantum fields that faster-than-light travel needs." The Centauri alien moved forward. "This is not possible. We have studied human neural patterns for 50 years. Your minds are too unstable." "That's exactly why it will work," Jack said, getting excited. "You aliens have minds that think in straight lines, very organized, very predictable. But humans are messy thinkers. We can change how our minds work. We can adapt." He pulled out a thick folder full of charts and numbers. "I've been working with test subjects for 5 years. People who practice deep meditation can create brain patterns that stay stable even when exposed to quantum fields. Not only do they stay stable, they get better at it." Linda Hayes looked at the papers. "These results, they're impressive. But this is just brain scans. You haven't actually tried to travel faster than light." "Not yet," Jack admitted. "But I've built a prototype engine. It's small, but it works. I've tested it on unmanned ships. They disappear from our sensors and reappear exactly where the calculations say they should." Commander Richards leaned forward. "You built a faster-than-light engine? Where? When?" "On Europa in the old mining station. I've been working there for 2 years." Jack's voice got stronger. "I used parts from crashed alien ships, but I built them differently. Instead of copying alien designs exactly, I made them work with human minds." The room got very quiet. Everyone stared at Jack, even the aliens seemed surprised. "You're talking about breaking the most basic law of physics," Linda Hayes said slowly. "And you're saying you've already done it?" "I'm saying that what's impossible for aliens might be possible for humans," Jack replied. "Our ancestors crossed oceans in wooden boats when everyone said it was impossible. They flew in the sky when everyone said humans couldn't fly. They went to the moon when everyone said it was too far. Every time, people said it couldn't be done. Every time humans proved them wrong." The Centauri alien stood up. It was much taller than any human in the room. "If what you say is true, you are in great danger. Other alien species will not allow humans to travel freely through the galaxy. They will try to stop you." "Why?" Jack asked. "Why don't they want humans to travel between stars?" The alien was quiet for a long moment. "Because if humans can do what we cannot, it changes everything. For thousands of years, we have been the ones who travel between worlds. We have been the teachers, the traders, the explorers. If humans can do this better than us—" "You're afraid?" Jack said quietly. "Yes," the alien admitted. "We are afraid." Commander Richards stood up. "Morrison, even if your engine works, we can't build a real ship. The Galactic Council has rules about what humans can and cannot do. If we break those rules, they'll cut off all trade with Earth. Millions of people could die, so we stay trapped forever?" Jack asked. "We let fear keep us locked in our own solar system while the rest of the galaxy moves ahead without us." "It's not that simple," Linda Hayes said. "We have to be careful. We have to think about what's best for all humans, not just our curiosity about space." Jack looked around the room at all the faces. Some looked interested, others looked scared. The aliens looked worried. "I understand the risks," Jack said. "But I also understand what we're giving up. Out there, beyond our solar system, there are worlds we've never seen. New kinds of life, new knowledge, new possibilities for the human race. Are we really going to let fear stop us from exploring?" He picked up his papers and held them tight. "I've spent 20 years working on this. I've proven that humans can do what everyone says is impossible. I'm not asking you to risk everything right now. I'm asking you to let me test it. Let me prove that humans are more than what the aliens think we are." The room was silent again. Jack could hear his own heart beating. This was it. This was the moment that would decide whether humans would stay trapped in their solar system or reach for the stars. Linda Hayes looked at her papers, then at Jack. "You really believe this will work?" "I know it will work," Jack said. "The question is whether we're brave enough to try." Commander Richards crossed his arms. "And if you're wrong? If this kills people? Then we'll learn from our mistakes and—" "Try again," Jack said. "That's what humans do. We don't give up just because something is hard." The Centauri alien spoke one more time. "If you succeed, everything will change. Are you prepared for that?" Jack looked at the alien, then at all the humans in the room. "I'm prepared to give humanity a chance to be more than what others expect." U.S. to be. The meeting ended without a decision. Jack left the building not knowing if he would get permission to test his engine, but he had planted a seed. He had made them think about possibilities instead of limitations, and that, he thought, was the first step toward making the impossible happen. 6 months had passed since Jack Morrison's meeting with the Earth Council. He had not received permission to test his faster-than-light engine. Instead, he had received a warning. The message was clear: stop working on the project or face arrest. Jack stood in the cold halls of the abandoned mining station on Europa, one of Jupiter's moons. The place had been empty for 10 years, but it was perfect for his secret work. Nobody came here anymore. The ice outside was thick and deadly, but inside the old tunnels, Jack had built something amazing. He was not alone. 3 other people had joined him when everyone else said his ideas were crazy. They had given up their old lives to help him. Prove that humans could travel faster than light. Kate Sullivan walked up to Jack, her hands covered in grease and her face tired but happy. She had been working on the engine for 16 hours straight. Kate used to be one of the best engineers on Mars, but she had been kicked out of the Mars Academy for asking too many questions about alien technology. "The engine is ready," Kate sighed, wiping her hands on a dirty cloth. "I've checked everything 3 times. The quantum field generators are working perfectly." Jack looked at the ship they had built together. It was not like any other ship humans had ever made. They called it the Pioneer. It was small, only big enough for 4 people, but it was beautiful. The hull was made from human steel, but inside were carefully studied alien parts that Jack had been collecting for years. "Are you sure the meditation chambers will work?" asked Tony Martinez, walking over to them. Tony had been a military pilot before joining Jack's team. His whole squad had been killed by alien pirates 2 years ago, and he wanted to prove that humans could be stronger than their enemies. "The chambers are perfect," said Dr. Ben Carter, looking up from his computer screens. Ben was a brain scientist who had lost his job for saying that human minds were more flexible than alien minds. "I've tested them with 50 volunteers. When people meditate inside those chambers, their brain patterns change in exactly the right way." Jack nodded and looked at the meditation chambers built into the ship. They looked like comfortable beds surrounded by strange machines. The idea was simple but revolutionary. Instead of trying to force human minds to work like alien minds, Jack had designed his ship to work with human minds. "The key is that we're different," Jack explained to his team for the 100th time. "Aliens have very organized thoughts. Their minds work like computers. But human minds are messy and creative. We can change how we think. We can adapt." Kate pointed to the engine room. "The quantum core is humming nutlessly. But Jack, are you really sure this won't kill us? Every other attempt at faster-than-light travel has killed the human pilots." "That's because they were using alien technology. Designed for alien minds," Jack said. "Our ship is designed for human minds. When we meditate in the chambers, our brains will create the right patterns to navigate quantum space safely." Ben showed them his research on his tablet. "Look at these brain scans. Normal human thoughts are chaotic and unpredictable. But when humans meditate deeply, their brains create patterns that actually match the quantum fields we need to travel through. It's like our minds become part of the engine." Tony looked nervous. "So we're not just riding in a ship. We're becoming part of the ship?" "In a way, yes," Jack said. "But that's our strength. Aliens can't do this because their minds are too rigid. They can't change how they think. But humans have always been good at adapting." Suddenly, an alarm sounded. Kate ran to the communication station. "We're getting a message from Earth. It's encrypted, but it's coming through the official channels." Jack took the message and read it. His face went pale. "The Galactic Council knows about our project. They've ordered Earth to stop us immediately. If we don't shut down, they'll cut off all trade with human colonies." "What does that mean?" Tony asked. "It means millions of people could starve," Ben said quietly. "The outer colonies need food and supplies from Earth. If the aliens stop all trade, people will die." Kate sat down heavily. "So we have to stop? After all this work?" Jack looked at his team. These 3 people had given up everything to help him. Kate had lost her career. Tony had lost his family. Ben had lost his reputation. They had all believed in his impossible dream. "They're trying to scare us," Jack said. "They don't want us to succeed because they know what it means. If humans can travel faster than light, we don't need them anymore." "But what about the people who might die?" Ben asked. Jack was quiet for a long moment. He walked over to the big window that looked out at Jupiter's swirling clouds. "I've been thinking about this for months. Why are the aliens so afraid of us learning to travel faster than light? It's not just about trade or politics." "What do you mean?" Kate asked. "I mean they're afraid because they know something we don't," Jack said. "They know that humans are capable of more than they've told us. They've been keeping us trapped in our solar system not to protect us, but to protect themselves." Tony stood up. "You think they're lying about it being dangerous for humans?" "I think they're lying about a lot of things," Jack said. "For 50 years, they've been telling us that we're too primitive, too chaotic, too dangerous to travel between stars. But what if the opposite is true? What if we're exactly what's needed to travel through quantum space? Ben looked at his brain scans. Again, the meditation patterns are incredibly complex. Much more complex than anything we've seen in alien neural patterns. What if that complexity is actually an advantage? Kate got excited. You mean what if human minds are naturally designed for quantum travel and alien minds aren't? That's exactly what I mean, Jack said. They've been using technology to do what human minds can do naturally. But they don't want us to know that because it would change everything. The alarm sounded again. This time it was the local warning system. Someone was coming to Europa. Tony ran to the sensor station. 3 ships approaching fast. They're not human ships. Centauri? Jack asked. No, these are different. Draconian? Ships, military. Everyone knew about the Draconians. They were the most aggressive alien species in the galaxy. If they were coming to Europa, it was not for a friendly visit. How long until they get here? Jack asked. 20 minutes, Tony said. Jack looked at his team. The moment of truth had arrived sooner than expected. They could surrender and let the aliens destroy their work, or they could test their ship right. Now, without knowing if it would work? We have a choice, Jack said. We can let them stop us, or we can prove that humans can do the impossible. Tate looked at the Pioneer. The ship isn't fully tested. We don't know if the life support will work during quantum travel. We don't know if we'll survive, Ben added. But we know what happens if we don't try, Tony said. We stay trapped forever. Jack walked to the ship's entrance. I'm going to test the Pioneer. Anyone who wants to come with me is welcome. Anyone who wants to stay is welcome too. But I'm not going to let fear stop me from trying. Kate was the first to follow him. I didn't give up my career to quit now, Ben was next. My research means nothing if we don't test it, Tony was last. I've already lost everything that mattered to me. But maybe we can give humanity something better. They climbed into the Pioneer and strapped themselves into the meditation chambers. The ship's computers began the startup sequence. Outside, the Draconian ships were getting closer. Are you ready? Jack asked his team. As ready as we'll ever be, Kate said. Then let's show the galaxy what humans can do, Jack said. The Pioneer's engines started to glow. The quantum field generators created a bubble of twisted space around the ship. Inside the meditation chambers, 4 human minds began to synchronize with forces that aliens said would destroy them, but Jack Morrison had never believed in impossible things. And today, he was going to prove that the word impossible was just another limitation waiting to be broken. The Pioneer disappeared from Europa in a flash of quantum energy, leaving the Draconian ship searching for a target that was no longer there. Jack Morrison opened his eyes and felt different. Not bad different, but strange and wonderful different. The meditation chamber around him was still humming softly, but something had changed. He could feel the ship moving through space in ways that his mind had never experienced before. Kate, are you okay? He called out. I'm more than okay, Kate's voice came back, filled with amazement. Jack, I can see things. I can see the shape of space itself. It's like having new eyes. Tony's voice joined them. The navigation systems are showing impossible readings. We're not just moving faster than light. We're moving through space like it's made of water and we're swimming through it. Ben was checking his instruments frantically. The brain scans are incredible. Instead of our minds breaking apart like the aliens said they would, our neural patterns are actually getting stronger and more organized. Jack looked at the star charts. According to their instruments, they had traveled 4 light years in just 3 hours. They were now in the Proxima Centauri system, a journey that should have taken human ships over 40 years. We did it, Jack said quietly. We actually did it. But their celebration was cut short by an alarm. The ship's communication system was picking up signals from nearby space, human signals. This is Admiral Lisa Brooks commanding the Earth vessel. Defiant, came a voice over the radio. Unknown ship, identify yourself immediately. Jack activated their transmitter. Admiral Brooks, this is Jack Morrison aboard the Pioneer. We're the faster-than-light test ship. There was a long silence. Then Admiral Brooks spoke again, her voice filled with disbelief. Morrison, that's impossible. You should be dead. Every computer model shows that human consciousness can't survive quantum space travel. The computer models were wrong, Jack replied. We're not just alive, Admiral. We're better than we were before. The quantum fields didn't hurt us. They enhanced us. Kate was studying the sensor readings. Jack, we're not alone out here. There are 12 alien ships heading toward us fast. They look like Centauri Alliance vessels. Through the ship's windows, Jack could see the Earth vessel Defiant in the distance. It was a big military ship, but it moved slowly compared to what the Pioneer could do. The alien ships approaching them were much faster. Admiral Brooks, Jack transmitted, you need to get your ship to safety. The Centauri are coming, and they don't look friendly. I'm not leaving you out here alone, Morrison, Admiral Brooks replied. Whatever you've done, you're still human, and humans don't abandon each other. The lead Centauri ship was now close enough to communicate directly. A cold, musical voice filled the Pioneer's bridge. Human vessel, you have violated the natural order of the galaxy. Your presence in quantum space is an abomination. Surrender immediately. Jack recognized the voice. It was Fleet Commander Zixith, one of the most powerful Centauri military leaders. Commander Zixith, we come in peace. We're here to prove that humans can travel safely through quantum space. There is no peace for your kind in the stars, Zixith replied. Your minds are too chaotic, too dangerous. You will destroy yourselves and others. We cannot allow this. Tony was watching the tactical display. Jack, they're powering up weapons. All 12 ships are targeting us. Can we outrun them? Jack asked. In normal space, no, Tony said. But in quantum space, double quotes to paused studying the readings. Jack, I think we can do things they can't even imagine. Ben looked up from his neural monitoring equipment. The meditation chambers are showing something amazing. Our consciousness isn't just surviving quantum space. It's learning to control it. Jack felt a strange sensation, like his mind was expanding beyond his body. He could sense the quantum fields around their ship, the way space and time bent and twisted. It was like being able to see with his thoughts. Everyone, focus on the meditation techniques, Jack said. Let your minds connect with the quantum fields around us. The 4 humans closed their eyes and began to meditate. As they did, the Pioneer began to do impossible things. It started moving in multiple directions at once, appearing in several places at the same time. The Centauri targeting systems couldn't lock onto them. What is happening? Zixith's voice was no longer cold and confident. It sounded afraid. We're learning, Jack replied. Learning to be more than what you thought we could be. The Pioneer folded space around itself, creating a barrier that the Centauri weapons couldn't penetrate. Then it began to move through dimensions that the aliens couldn't even detect. Kate opened her eyes and gasped. Jack, I can see their thoughts. Not clearly, but I can sense their fear. They're terrified of us. Why? Tony asked. Because we're doing things they never learned to do, Ben said, studying his readings. Their minds are too rigid, too organized. They can use technology to travel through quantum space, but they can't become part of it like we can. Admiral. Brooks's voice came over the radio again. Morrison, what are you doing out there? Our sensors are showing impossible readings. We're showing the galaxy what humans are really capable of, Jack replied. The Pioneer suddenly appeared directly in front of the Centauri fleet. But instead of attacking, Jack opened a communication channel to all the alien ships. Commander Zixith, you've spent centuries telling humans that we're too primitive to travel between stars. You said our minds were too chaotic, too dangerous, but you were wrong about what that chaos means. Your chaos will destroy you, Zixith replied, but his voice was shaking. Our chaos makes us free, Jack said. Your minds are like machines, very organized and predictable. But human minds are like rivers, always changing, always adapting. That's why we can do things you can't, the Pioneer began to demonstrate. It moved through space like a dancer, bending quantum fields into beautiful patterns. It created temporary wormholes that connected distant parts of space. It even began to manipulate time itself, slowing it down around the Centauri ships. "This is impossible," one of the Centauri commanders transmitted. "Matter cannot behave this way. Matter can't," Jack agreed. "But consciousness can, and human consciousness is more flexible than you ever imagined." Kate was monitoring the quantum fields around them. "Jack, we're not just controlling space and time. We're teaching the universe new ways to behave." Ben's instruments were showing incredible readings. "The quantum fields are actually learning from us. They're becoming more complex, more alive." Suddenly, something unexpected happened. The space around them began to shimmer, and new shapes appeared. These weren't ships or aliens as they knew them. These were beings made of pure energy, creatures that existed in the quantum realm itself. "We are the Void Walkers," a voice spoke directly into their minds. "We have been waiting for your kind for 1,000 years. "Waiting for us?" Jack asked. "Yes, the others." The Void Walker gestured toward the Centauri ships. "They use technology to travel through our realm, but they cannot truly enter it. They remain trapped in their physical forms, their rigid thoughts." "But humans are different?" Kate asked. "Humans are the first species we have encountered that can truly join with quantum space. Your minds are not cursed with chaos as the others believe. They are blessed with infinite possibility." The Centauri ships were backing away now, their weapons powering down. Zixith's voice came one more time, filled with something that might have been wonder. "You have become something new," he said. "Something we never thought possible." "We've become what we always were," Jack replied. "We just had to stop listening to others tell us what we couldn't do," the Void Walker spoke again. "Your species stands at the beginning of a great transformation. You have taken the first step into a larger universe. But beware, not all who dwell among the stars will welcome your growth." "We'll face whatever comes," Jack said. "That's what humans do." The Pioneer hung in space, surrounded by amazed aliens and mysterious energy beings. In the distance, Admiral Brooks and the crew of the Defiant watched in awe as humanity took its first true steps into the galaxy. Jack Morrison had done more than prove faster than light travel was possible. He had shown that human consciousness itself might be the key to unlocking the universe's greatest mysteries. The word impossible had just become a little smaller. News of the Pioneer's success spread across the galaxy faster than anyone expected. Within 3 weeks, every alien civilization knew that humans had achieved faster than light travel. More importantly, they knew that humans could do things in quantum space that no other species had ever managed. Jack Morrison stood in the new training facility on Luna, Earth's moon. The place had been built in just 2 months, with help from both human engineers and the mysterious Void Walkers. Hundreds of humans were coming here to learn the meditation techniques that would let them travel through quantum space. The applications keep coming in, said Dr. Rachel Stone, a former psychologist who now helped train new quantum pilots. "We have volunteers from every human colony. Scientists, explorers, even artists who want to experience quantum space." Jack watched through the large windows as new ships were being built in the Luna shipyards. These weren't copies of the Pioneer. Each ship was designed differently, built to work with the unique way different human minds approached quantum consciousness. "How many ships are ready?" Jack asked. 15 so far, Rachel replied. "Captain Steve Parker just finished his training. He's ready to take the exploration ship Horizon on its first deep space mission." But the news wasn't all good. Tony Martinez walked into the room, his face serious. "Jack, we're getting reports from our intelligence sources. The Draconian Empire is mobilizing their entire fleet. They're planning something big." Kate Sullivan joined them, carrying a tablet full of technical data. "It's not just the Draconians. The Ethereal Collective has been sending secret messages to Earth governments, offering huge amounts of money for our quantum technology." "And the hive mind?" Jack asked. "They're demanding that we share our consciousness techniques with all species," Ben Carter said as he walked up to the group. "They say it's unfair for humans to have abilities that others don't." Jack looked out at the stars beyond Luna's surface. "They're all afraid. For thousands of years, they've been the ones with the advanced technology. They've been the teachers, the leaders, the explorers. Now humans are showing them that their way isn't the only way. Rachel pulled up a holographic display showing the galaxy. The political situation is getting dangerous. Some species want to destroy us before we become too powerful. Others want to steal our technology. A few want to make alliances. What does Earth Command think we should do? Jack asked. Tony's expression got darker. Earth Command is split. Half of them want to share our technology freely to keep peace. The other half want to use it to make humanity the strongest power in the galaxy. Both approaches are wrong, Jack sighed. This isn't about power or politics. It's about evolution. We're not just building faster ships. We're helping humanity grow into something new. Ben showed them his latest research. The people who have been through quantum travel training aren't just better pilots. They're better at everything. Their creativity has increased. Their problem-solving skills have improved. Their ability to work together has gotten stronger. You're talking about changing the human species itself, Rachel said. Maybe I am, Jack replied. The Void Walkers told us that consciousness is the key to understanding the universe. If that's true, then helping humans develop quantum consciousness isn't just about space travel. It's about becoming the kind of species that can help the galaxy grow and change. Suddenly, alarms started sounding throughout the facility. Kate ran to the communication station. We're receiving an emergency transmission from Captain Parker on the horizon. Steve Parker's voice filled the room, crackling with interference. Luna Base, this is Captain Parker. We've made contact with something incredible out here. You need to see this. What's your location, Captain? Jack asked. We're in the Vega system, about 25 light-years from Earth. We found something the Void Walkers told us to look for. There's a structure here, Jack. Something huge. The transmission cleared up, and they could see Steve's face on the screen. Behind him, his crew was working frantically at their stations. What kind of structure? Rachel asked. It's like a city, but it's made of crystallized quantum energy. The Void Walkers call it a consciousness node. They say there are hundreds of them scattered across the galaxy, but they've been dormant for millions of years. Ben leaned forward excitedly. Dormant? What activated it? We did, Steve said. When the horizon entered the system, our quantum consciousness somehow woke it up. The structure is responding to our thoughts, learning from us. Jack felt a chill of excitement and fear. Steve, get back to Earth immediately. We need to study this data. That's the problem, Jack. We can't leave. The structure isn't just responding to us, it's communicating with us. And what it's telling us changes everything we thought we knew about the galaxy. Kate was monitoring communication channels from across the galaxy. Jack, we're picking up massive fleet movements. The Draconian Empire is mobilizing everything they have. So are the Centauri? It looks like they're all heading toward the Vega system. They know about the consciousness node, Tony said grimly. Of course they do, Jack replied. They've probably known about these structures for centuries. They just never knew how to activate them. Rachel was studying the quantum readings from the horizon. Jack, if these nodes are scattered across the galaxy and they respond to human consciousness, we're not just talking about faster-than-light travel anymore. We're talking about a network that could connect the entire galaxy. A network controlled by humans, Ben added. No wonder the aliens are scared, Kate said. Steve Parker's voice came over the communication system again. Jack, the node is showing us things. Visions of what the galaxy was like millions of years ago. There was a species here before any of the current civilizations. They built these nodes as a way to connect all consciousness across the galaxy. What happened to them? Jack asked. They evolved beyond physical form. They became pure consciousness, like the Void Walkers. But before they left, they programmed the nodes to wait for the next species capable of quantum consciousness evolution. And that species is humanity, Rachel said quietly. The implications were staggering. Humans weren't just developing faster than light travel. They were inheriting a galaxy-spanning network built by an ancient civilization that had evolved beyond physical existence. "Steve, how long before the alien fleets reach you?" Jack asked. "The Draconians will be here in 6 hours. The Centauri in 8. There are others coming too." Jack made a decision that would change the course of galactic history. "Rachel, contact every trained quantum pilot we have. Kate, prep every ship that's ready to fly. Tony, send a message to Earth Command. Tell them we're going to Vega." "Jack, what are you planning?" Ben asked. "I'm planning to show the galaxy that humans aren't going to be intimidated or controlled," Jack replied. "If the aliens want to fight, U.S. for control of ancient technology, they're going to learn that human consciousness is more powerful than they imagined." Within 4 hours, a fleet of 15 human ships was heading toward the Vega system. Each ship carried crew members who had learned to merge their consciousness with quantum space. They were no longer just humans traveling through space. They were something new. As they entered quantum space together, their combined consciousness created effects that amazed even the Voidwalkers. The ships moved as one mind, thinking and reacting faster than any alien computer system. They were about to face the largest alien fleet ever assembled, but Jack Morrison had learned that the word impossible was just a challenge waiting to be overcome. And humanity was ready for its biggest challenge yet, the battle for the future of galactic civilization was about to begin, and it would be fought not with weapons, but with the power of consciousness itself. 5 years had passed since the Battle of Vega, and Jack Morrison stood before the newly formed galactic assembly on the space station called Unity. The station itself was a marvel, built by humans using consciousness-guided technology that shaped matter with pure thought. Representatives from hundreds of species filled the Great Hall, but they were no longer looking down at humanity as a primitive race. The battle at Vega had changed everything. When the combined alien fleets arrived to destroy the human ships and claim the consciousness node, they had found something they never expected. 15 human vessels, their crews linked in quantum meditation, had merged their consciousness with the ancient network. The result was power beyond anything the galaxy had ever seen. "We didn't set out to rule the galaxy," Jack said to the assembled delegates, his voice calm and strong. Years of quantum consciousness had changed him. His mind could now process information at incredible speeds and see patterns across space and time that others couldn't imagine. "We set out to prove that the word impossible was just another limitation waiting to be overcome." In the audience, Zix of the Centauri Alliance nodded respectfully. The proud alien who had once threatened to destroy human ships was now one of humanity's closest allies. "The Centauri people have learned much from working with humans," Zix said when it was his turn to speak. "Our scientists now study alongside human researchers, and together we have unlocked mysteries that neither species could solve alone." The transformation hadn't been easy. After the Battle of Vega, when human consciousness had proven capable of controlling entire star systems through the ancient network, many alien civilizations had been terrified. Some had tried to destroy Earth itself. Others had begged for mercy. A few had chosen the harder path of cooperation and learning. Kate Sullivan, now Admiral of the Human Exploration Fleet, sat near Jack. She had been present at Vega when their combined consciousness had not only defended against the alien attack, but had actually converted some of the attacking ship's crews to their cause. When alien minds experienced the freedom and creativity of human quantum consciousness, many chose to stay and learn. "The network shows us that consciousness is the fundamental force of the universe," Jack continued. "Matter, energy, space, and time are all expressions of conscious thought. The ancient builders understood this. They evolved beyond physical form not by abandoning their consciousness, but by expanding it infinitely." Dr. Amy Johnson, the leader of the new generation of human quantum researchers, stepped forward. She had been born after the breakthrough, one of the first children whose minds were naturally adapted to quantum consciousness. "We've discovered that consciousness doesn't just observe reality," she said. "It creates reality. Every thought, every intention, every dream has the power to reshape the universe. The implications were staggering. Humans had learned to heal previously incurable diseases by convincing the body's cells to repair themselves. They had turned barren planets into gardens by working with the consciousness of living ecosystems. They had even begun to communicate with the consciousness of stars themselves. Tony Martinez, now Earth's ambassador to the Draconian Empire, stood up. The Draconians were our enemies for years, he said. They believed that strength came from conquest and domination. But when their warriors experienced human quantum consciousness, they discovered something stronger than any weapon, the power of cooperation and growth. The Draconian representative, a massive warrior named General Krex, rose to respond. Humans taught us that true strength comes not from destroying others, but from helping them become stronger. Our empire now grows through partnership, not conquest. But not all the changes had been peaceful. The Ethereal Collective had refused to accept humanity's new role in the galaxy. They had tried to steal human consciousness technology, leading to conflicts that lasted 2 years. The hive mind species had demanded that humans share their abilities equally with all species. Unable to understand that consciousness couldn't be copied or transferred like computer data, some species have chosen to remain isolated, Jack acknowledged. We respect their choice. The network doesn't force anyone to join. It simply offers the opportunity for growth to those ready to embrace it. Ben Carter, now the director of the Consciousness Research Institute, had made the most remarkable discovery of all. Children born after their parents underwent quantum consciousness training are naturally connected to the network, he explained to the assembly. They can communicate across vast distances, solve complex problems by linking their minds together, and even influence physical matter through focused thought. These new humans were already showing abilities that amazed their parents. They could learn languages instantly by connecting to the consciousness of native speakers. They could understand complex scientific concepts by linking with the thoughts of researchers. Some could even glimpse possible futures by extending their consciousness through time. We're not creating a master race, Jack clarified, sensing the fear in some of the alien delegates. We're demonstrating what all consciousness can become. The network is open to any species willing to expand their thinking beyond rigid patterns. Several alien species had already begun the process. The aquatic coral mines of the oceanic worlds had natural meditation abilities that made them excellent candidates for quantum consciousness development. The silicon-based crystal singers had minds that naturally resonated with quantum frequencies. Even some Centauri had begun training in human meditation techniques. Captain Steve Parker, speaking from the exploration vessel Horizon via quantum communication, shared the latest discoveries. We've activated over 100 consciousness nodes across the galaxy. Each one reveals new aspects of the ancient network. We found evidence that the original builders are still out there, existing as pure consciousness in dimensions beyond our current understanding. The Void Walkers had become regular visitors to human space, no longer mysterious beings but teachers and guides. They had revealed that consciousness itself was evolving and that humanity was leading that evolution. You are the gardeners of the next phase of galactic awareness, one Void Walker had told Jack. Your role is to help other species discover their own paths to consciousness expansion. As Jack concluded his address to the Galactic Assembly, he reflected on the journey that had brought them here. It had started with a simple refusal to accept limitations. Now it had become something far greater than anyone had imagined. The galaxy we see today would have been impossible 5 years ago, Jack said. Humans working alongside Centauri scientists. Draconian warriors protecting peaceful research stations. Former enemies becoming partners in exploring the deepest mysteries of existence. He paused, looking out at the diverse gathering of beings who had chosen cooperation over conflict. This is what becomes possible when we stop believing in impossible things, when we recognize that consciousness has no limits except those we place on ourselves. Rachel Stone, now Earth's first quantum consciousness ambassador, stood to add the final thought. The network has shown us glimpses of what the galaxy can become. Worlds where different species share their unique perspectives to solve problems. Together, star systems where consciousness and matter work in harmony to create beauty beyond imagination. A galaxy where the word impossible has lost all meaning. As the assembly session ended, delegates from dozens of species approached the human representatives with requests to join training programs, establish cooperation agreements, or simply learn more about consciousness expansion. The galaxy was changing, one mind at a time. Jack Morrison walked to the observation deck of Unity Station and looked out at the stars. Somewhere out there, new human ships were exploring unknown regions of space. Their crew's consciousness merged with the ancient network. Children born with quantum awareness were discovering abilities that would have seemed like magic just years before. Former enemies were becoming partners in the greatest adventure of all, the evolution of consciousness itself. The man who had once been told that faster-than-light travel was impossible for humans, now watched as humanity helped guide the consciousness evolution of an entire galaxy. And in the deepest connections of the quantum network, he could sense something wonderful, the ancient builders themselves, no longer distant and mysterious, but reaching out to welcome their successors into the infinite community of evolved consciousness. Jack Morrison had made the impossible happen. And in doing so, he had discovered that impossible was just the beginning.